Guitar Gangsters proudly present a full-on live performance of their entire 2017 album Sex and Money from the comfort of their fashionable loft space somewhere high above the streets of London. Sex and Money was originally recorded in New York with legendary Ramones producer Daniel Ray, and here the 12 songs provide the musical commentary to a world described to the band through stories that just might, or might not, be true. These stories are brought to you through the medium of a one-off current affairs programme that doubtless will soon be on everyone's screens. So please, sit back, settle down for Guitar Gangsters' live 2021 performance of Sex and Money, together with The Sex and Money Show!
Chris, you ever seen this show? It's absolutely rubbish, but I just can't stop watching the bloody thing.
You see what you wrote on Twitter last week?
What? Where did you write?
I'll tell you later. Let's go.
The Sex and Money Show.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of The Sex and Money Show. My name's Dan Obermeyer.
And my name's Julia Rayleigh.
As always, here on The Sex and Money Show, we aim to bring you the stories that really matter. The stories that shape your world, and the stories that are frankly a little too hot for other current affairs shows to handle.
That's right, Dan. We like to loosen the belt on the underbelly of life and get right down and in there and find out what's really going on, and even share a few little secrets right here on The Sex
and Money Show.
The Sex and Money Show.
Well, Dan, earlier this week I caught up with serial offender Kevin. That's not his real name, of course. Kevin. Since breaking up with his girlfriend, Kevin has been stalking her relentlessly, and I wanted to ask him why. Let's see what he has to say. His voice has been disguised to protect his identity, but I don't know why. Shouldn't we just out the weirdo? Anyway, here's what happened. So, Kevin, which part of Take a Hike, Baby didn't you understand when your girlfriend gave you the brush off?
Julia, isn't it? Julia Rayleigh. Oh, can I call you Julia?
Well, yes, of course. It's actually Rayleigh. But what is it exactly that motivates a man like you to do the things you did?
A man like me? Have you ever met a man like me? Can you imagine what it's like to meet a man like me, Julia Rayleigh?
Well, no. I don't know. But what are you like?
Well, I'm a lot like you, Julia. Interested in people. But sometimes I suppose I'm, well, obsessive.
I wanna be a big mistake. I wanna be your one regret. I wanna be the one you love, but you just don't know it yet. I wanna be the promise you never should have said. I wanna be the secret that's been messing up your head. I wanna be your obsession. I wanna be yours until the end of time. I wanna be your obsession. I'll be yours, 'cause baby you are mine. I wanna be your drug. I wanna be your overdose. I wanna be the pain you feel when we just have it close. I wanna be your failing, filling you with doubt. I wanna be the one you thought you could never live without. I wanna be your obsession. I wanna be yours until the end of time. I wanna be your obsession. I wanna be yours, 'cause baby
Well, 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 he certainly had you going there. Looks like our friend Kevin definitely took a shine to our Julia. But then who wouldn't?
That's true, Dan. How is it you refer to me? Sex on a stick?
Well, yes, Julia, but only when we're alone in the lift. There's no harm done, is there?
No, Dan, not until the injunction kicks in. But anyway, let's move right along to our next story. I hear you've been mixing it up with some North London gang members. Some might think you're a little old for that. But what did you find out for us?
Yes, that's right, Julia. I wanted to get to the sharp end of knife attacks and look down the barrel of gun crime. They say that social inequality and economic injustice are the true villains here, but how much of that is true? What actually motivates those with guns and knives?
It's a dangerous city, what you expect? Retaliate first, cut and go. Down in the city, just a little too slow. For my protection and saving lives, that's why we're carrying knives. My brother's got a baby son, and that's why he carries a gun. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. I've got friends, I'm their keeper. Guns are cheaper, knives are cheaper. Here's my family, don't know any other. I die for them all, everyone's my brother. We fight for our homes, it's all we've got. In East 13, my brother was shot. It's my duty, my right to defend. A rightful home in the East End. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. No more guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. We look up to our heroes, light the way. I'll take the place of a hero someday. With my badge of honor, mark of respect. It's a dangerous city, what you expect? We don't have a future, like fathers like sons. Some carry knives, and some carry guns. The struggle of life makes perfect sense. With guns and knives and violence. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. No more guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. No more guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives. No more guns and knives, and wasted lives. Guns and knives, and wasted lives.
Agreed, it's a tough one, Dan. But I thought your ideas of extending stop and search powers and tougher sentencing for offenders really seemed to get a reaction out of your new North London friends. Let's see how that one plays out.
Oh, thank you, Julia. I like to think I have some of the answers. Not all, of course, that would be pompous and arrogant. But I think I'm right on this one.
We here on the Sex and Money Show are a pretty crazy gang.
Oh, you speak for yourself there, Julia.
Well, let's just say we're a spontaneous, carefree, live-for-today kind of outfit. And guess what? This is becoming a very fashionable outlook on life.
Ah, but Julia, do we really have any proof of that?
Well, yes, we do. According to research conducted by social science undergraduates at the University of Baltimore, living for today is hardwired in the brain. And, so they say, This instinct to ignore the consequences of our actions today because everything will be okay tomorrow is an essential optimistic function of the hippocampus part of the brain developed in Neanderthal man to ensure our survival when, say, a saber-toothed tiger could be round the next rock.
I see. So it's a case of carpe diem all round?
Absolutely, Dan, and bollocks to tomorrow.
Well, I don't wanna see what the future holds, and I don't wanna see how my life unfolds. Let's take a chance, it'll be alright. And live for today, live for tonight. I'm gonna see today, tomorrow can't wait. Do it now, 'cause tomorrow's too late. Tonight I'll make this sudden vow and put my faith in you and now. I'd never arrive, I might never survive. One bit better than this. Might never arrive, I might never survive. No one ever lives. All that I am and all that I'll be stands before you. It's all that you see. Tomorrow I'll be that way. And all that I am today. I'm gonna see today, tomorrow can't wait. Do it now, 'cause tomorrow's too late. Tonight I'll make it sudden vow. Put my faith in you and now. I'd never arrive, I might never survive. No one ever miss. I'd never arrive, I might never survive. No one ever miss. I'm gonna seize the day, tomorrow can't wait. Do it now, 'cause tomorrow's too late. Tonight I'll make it sudden vow. I put my faith in here and now. Might never arrive, I might never survive. One bit better than this. Might never arrive, I might never survive. No one ever missed.
So there we have it. Life is all about living in the moment, and that's official. No, Dan, it won't make a difference. You are what you see, a little grey, a little saggy round the neck. Just accept it graciously and get on with the remainder of your life. Oh, and then there's that weight thing going on. No need to accept that, of course. Why not get out there and put in some miles?
Actually, Julia, I was just admiring myself and thinking how little I'd changed over the years. He's still the handsome guy he was in his 20s.
What, his 1920s?
Julia, you have to admit I'm a good-looking guy. And even if I wasn't, which I am, but if I wasn't, being confident I was good-looking would make me more successful with women.
Blind women, perhaps, Dan.
All right, here's the headline on page 9 of yesterday's Metro. Vain men are more successful with women. It turns out, the higher an opinion a man has of himself, the more attractive he is to women.
A tall story, Dan. A narcissistic personality disorder is not attractive to women.
You can dismiss it if you like, but one woman's disorder is another woman's on switch. But who are we to judge?
Well, some people say I don't fit the bill. It's even been said I'm over the hill. The clothes I wear are a crime of fashion. Loving I make is a crime of fashion. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, the judge of that. Well, I've been called a little slow in the head, a little deaf. What's that you said? I'm always out of time, never where it's at. But I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, the judge of that. I've been told I won't amount to much, and over the years I've lost my touch. I've been told I'm a dirty rat, but I'll be the judge of that. It's a waste of time I've overheard, but you can't believe a single word. He's too short and he's too fat, but I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. Whoa, 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 the judge of that.
No, sorry, Dan. I'm just not buying that. Get back to that cave of yours.
So, Julia, how exactly can a man show his manliness in this modern woke world?
Steady there, Dan. There could be children watching.
No, I mean, how can a man respond to both social expectations and his biological needs?
Steady?
Yes, of course, his biological needs might be straightforward enough. But what about the expectation to protect and provide for his family? So we sent our roving reporter, Dave Shortenkurt, to the notorious Brecknock housing estate in London last week to find out exactly what being a man in today's society really means.
So you live here on the Brecknock Road with your mother and two younger brothers. And although I hear you're only 18 years old, you're the breadwinner and man of the house?
Yes, right.
And how does that feel? In an area run by drug dealers and gangsters, it must be hard to keep the family safe. How do you do that?
With a bat.
Sorry, with a bat?
Yeah, man. With a bat.
Ah.
To the manor of the 60s concrete kingdom, leader of a lawless youth and prince of thieves. He learned how to fight, he learned how to rob and steal, and earn respect and only by our own cheese. He played the game on benefits, handed down through generations, and come from cash machines, outside shops and service stations.
he certainly was a plucky little fella, wasn't he? Bring back national service, I say. Anyway, now Julia, are you a Simon and Garfunkel fan?
Not really, Dan, but my dad was.
Ah, but their music is timeless, don't you think?
Now that you mention it, I think you're right. Bridge Over Troubled Water, I Am a Rock, Mrs. Robinson, Scarborough Fair. Oh, and Listen.
What? I can't hear anything.
That, my dear Dan, is The Sound of Silence. With their very own version of The Sound of Silence, we'd like to welcome our special guests on the Sex and Money Show, the Guitar Gangsters.
Take it away, boys.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because of visions softly creeping, left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the golden dawn, while my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. The naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and no one dare disturb the sound of silence. Who said you do not know? Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my voice that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. And my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people round and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sunshine that it's warning is the words that it was morning. It said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls and in the sound of silence. And in the sound of silence, and in the sound of silence.
Welcome back to the Sex
and Money Show.
The Sex and Money Show.
I'm Julia Rayleigh.
And I'm Dan Obermeyer.
This is the show that likes to bring you stories of probably the two most important things in life. The two things that demand our constant attention and affection. Yes, sex.
And money. And everything that falls in between. Now, we've just heard in our last item how it's still possible to be a man even when you don't have money.
Yes, we have, Dan. But what about the other side of that shiny coin? Are you more of a man if you do have money? Does having money influence the opposite sex, and can it even influence sex itself? What do you think, Dan?
Whoa, Julia, I think you're asking the wrong guy here. To even think a man could influence the opposite sex with money is just ludicrous.
It's all I see and all I breathe. Sex and money.
Well, I think that settles it, eh, Julia? Sex and money are indeed inseparable bedfellows.
Occasionally, a rather endearing story reaches the S&M desk. A story that gives a tug on the emotional heartstrings and is something we can all relate to in a been there, done that kind of way.
I guess it does, Julia. Now, this story involves a humble North London park, and the local council's attempt to change its name from Durnsford Recreation Ground, quite catchy, don't you think, to the rather more 21st century Oliver Tambo Open Space for Harmony and Ageing Well.
All fine and dandy so far, but apparently not if you're frontman and vocalist of the famous band The Waterholes, Nicky Watts. Let's go live to Nicky now.
Welcome to the Sex and Money Show.
Hi.
So what appears to be the problem with changing the name of what I understand was your local park when you were growing up?
Well, it was my local park where I used to hang out as a kid.
OK, but there must be more to it than that. Was there anything special about the park, Nicky?
Well, it was always the rec. Durnsford rec, to me and my mates.
Right, I'm going to have to jog your memory a little. What if I were to say the name Shirley Hunt?
Oh, yeah. And that's where I had my first ever shag. In the pavilion. Durnsford rec.
Hideaway drinks and secret smokes, desperate fashion and dirty jokes. We never thought about what came next and lived our lives like Dunsford wrecks. We stayed out late, they locked the bar, then played football in the dark. Sometimes all the girls play too, the lucky ones got a kiss or two. You can't kick the ball in platform boots, the girls like boys in velvet suits. Daddy's got matches, let's light a fire. Who says he's got a girlfriend, he's a liar. Dunsford wrecks, we were Dunsford wrecks, just Dunsford wrecks. Oh, Dunsford wrecks. 6 weeks in the summer sun, we were the teenagers where'd they come. Music, alcohol, and cigarettes, we lived our lives like teenagers. Nothing ever happened in 73, but that summer was the making of me. Nicky's older brother says he's had sex, he's just another one of us Dunsford wrecks. We talk for hours about music and clothes. Is about where you go, no, nobody knows. Margaret Hooper, Slade T-Rex, we lived our lives like Dunsford wrecks. Dunsford wrecks, we were Dunsford wrecks, just Dunsford wrecks. Oh, Dunsford wrecks.
Sounds like that really was the place for young people to hang out before sex had been invented. What have you got there, Julia?
Well, it's an email, Dan, from one of our lovely viewers.
Great. We don't get time to read out all your emails, of course, but let's hear it, Julia.
Well, it's it's really about you, Dan.
Well, that's my favourite subject. Let's have it.
It's from a Shirley Hunt. Shirley writes, "Is Dan for real? Is he actually the missing link? Dan Obermeyer is a misanthropic, misogynist narcissist who is unable to control his fascist tendencies and is a 1930s National Socialist anachronism. The man is a Nazi. Kind regards."
Oh dear, Shirley, come, a Nazi?
Well, Dan Obermeyer is a very German-sounding name.
It's Austrian, actually.
Oh, Austrian, I see. That's much better. And what did your grandparents do during the war?
War? Which war?
You know, the Second World War, the one with Tom Hanks in it.
Not a great deal. Actually, they kind of sat it out.
They sat it out? Well, alongside Mr. Hitler and Mr. Goebbels?
Yeah, actually, Julia, and Shirley Hunt. My grandparents were imprisoned in Dachau in 1940, where my grandfather's brother, 2 sisters and mother perished at the hands of the Nazis.
There are 2 types of people in the world, they say, although I think there's gotta be more. One will stand alone at the barricade, while the other holds open the door. Nothing in life can be so simple, it's more than just wrong and right. And it's my prediction that every contradiction is never just black and white. It's just a matter of time till the high and night are falling down, down, down. And for every attack there's an absence of fact to bring you down, down, down. Whose side are you on anyway? And does anyone give a damn? So sooner or later the high and night will fall down, down, down. Down, down, down. All the way down. So they're sitting in judgment, they're the jury too, the self-appointed part of you. They elevate themselves to the greatest heights with a twisted idea of truth. Where the propaganda, they feed the converted with a nod and a raised clenched fist. But just these lies and myths converted is the reason for them to exist. It's just a matter of time till the high and night are falling down, down, down. And for every attack there's an absence of fact to bring you down, down.
really. I had no idea. I didn't know.
Thank you, Julia. Professional at all times. Let's put it behind us.
Standby studio, going live in 5, 4, 3.
So very often there is much more to a story than we might think.
As this next story illustrates so well, and I'm sure this story will resonate with you, Dan.
Really, Julia?
I'm sure it will. It concerns the increasing use of online dating apps, and in particular, those apps intended to bring people together for, well, how shall we put it? Casual hookups, friends with benefits, a one-night stand or a bonk and go, as it were.
Well, I'm not actually familiar with the type of apps you're referring to, Julia, but please continue.
Yes. Well, anyway, the target market for these apps is, of course, those who seek sexual activity without financial or emotional commitment or future involvement.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now.
I thought you might, Dan. But we've heard from top-rated dating app Bang It Now, who report the rather surprising findings that 17% of their users have found long-term relationships through using the app. And now, get this, 5% have even found marriage.
Frankly, Julia, I'm appalled.
If I press your button or flick your switch, that's too bad, yeah, that's a bitch. 'Cause baby, baby, I don't love you. If I send you flowers, it all turn black. And if you send me letters, I'll send them back. 'Cause baby, baby, I don't love you. The photo on my phone means nothing at all. So don't ever mail, no don't ever call. And if I got you right, I'll pull your string. All I had in mind was a physical thing. 'Cause I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. How'd you get these ideas in your pretty little head? You get another night with someone else instead. 'Cause baby, baby, I don't love you. That look in my eye just to get your attention. They told a lie of vulnerable intention. 'Cause baby, baby, I don't love you. So if we meet again, let's now agree. I never loved you, you never loved me. Nothing's gonna change when night and day. How about a drink? Now what do you say? I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. Photo on my phone means nothing at all. So don't ever mail, no don't ever call. And if I caught you right, I'll pull your string. All I had in mind was a physical thing. 'Cause I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. I don't love you, but baby, I want you. I don't love you, but baby, I want you.
Well, that's all very commendable, but we can't possibly condone those seeking nothing more than selfish acts of carnal satisfaction.
Absolutely right, Dan. To get something out, we all have to put something in. And perhaps contribute to our communities and even contribute to our political processes.
How do you mean, Julia?
Well, we both know I carry a torch for people power and the rights of individuals to exercise that power at the ballot box.
Yes, I think we all do, Julia. But sadly it seems that our politicians have failed to adopt policies that engage with the electorate. Some of whom it seems would rather just go to the pub than listen to a lively political debate.
You're right again, Dan. To get the lowdown on voter disinterest from political boffin and head of economics at the London School of Political Science, Professor Brian Schengen, here's our very own Dave Shortenkurt.
Thanks, Julia. Professor, let me start by asking, voters want fairness. Are democratic economic policies actually fair?
In considering fairness, we must first look at the willingness to redistribute income in private and democratic decisions. In contrast to the standard explanations of income distribution, the theory must take into account the fact that prices shift decisively as we move from the sphere of private contributions to politics. At the polls, it's nearly costless to observe social norms, and therefore we expect individuals to behave more fairly in the political sphere than in the marketplace. And it's easy to present evidence that is consistent with this hypothesis, but in distributive struggles, social norms moderate the inclinations of society to behave like spinners of the roulette wheel.
Well, there you have it. Back to you, Julia.
Sorry, Dave. There we have what?
Well, just what he said.
The left and the right, I've had enough of being polite. Tax and spend and boom and bust. Eating, meeny, money, mo, who do I trust? Roll up your sleeves, take up your time. Look in the camera, I'm a gullible guy. Let's put an end to this political scene. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. I think my brain is starting to shrink. Shut up and get me a drink. Which way to vote? Knock, knock, just tell me a joke. I wanna say this, I waited for years. Just shut it and get in the beers. Can't you tell when I'm getting bored? I think I'm better off being ignored. You know I love you, but don't care what you think. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. I'm too sober just to sit in the thing. Shut up and get me a drink. Got the solution. Don't give a damn about your revolution. Life's too short for me to wonder why. I don't it with my life in shadows. Now I know what really matters. Never ever let your glass run dry. And this is why. Drink. Shut up and get me a drink. I think my brain is starting to shrink. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. Shut up and get me a drink. I think my brain is starting to shrink. Shut up and get me a drink.
Well, I wonder if politicians will ever get the voters back on side.
I guess we'll just have to have faith, Julia. Which brings us nicely on to our next story. Never wants to shy away from the big questions here on the Sex and Money Show, and they don't get much bigger than questions on religion.
No, Dan, and the question is religion being replaced by science?
It would seem so, Julia. In a recent study of social attitudes in the US, no religion was the single largest group of respondents, edging ahead of evangelists for the first time. And this, it seems, coincides with the rise of internet consumerism, increasing tech and gadget use in the home, and the personal use of the app-laden mobile phone.
And wasn't it Russian astronaut Yuri Gagarin who, while floating in his tin can far above the world, said, "Nope, there's no God up here"?
Well, yes, it was, Julia. Since then, we've increasingly turned to science and tech for our understanding and control of the world around us, leaving God, well, on the subs bench.
It would seem so, Dan. And could it be that with the development of artificial intelligence, that one day technology could have a soul?
Now, there's a scary thought, Julia. Being controlled by the technology we thought we controlled is all very 1984. But could it ever happen? So we asked our science and technology editor, Richard Jones, could technology ever replace God?
Hello, Dan and Julia. It's great to be back on the programme. We got lots to talk about today.
Sorry, we don't seem to be able to bring you Richard Jones at the moment. I'm not sure.
Oh, what's going on? Are we still on?
Well, how am I supposed to know?
What are we supposed to do?
Anybody? Tell us what's going on.
Well, I don't believe in undying love, hell below or heaven above. In every answer, 100 ways. In every
Show.